Good morning to everyone. This is Divya Bharati from the Department of Business Administration. Today, I'm going to take a concept on banking and crossing of checks. First, let me tell you a meaning of a bank. A bank is said to be a financial institution where they'll accept the deposit from the public and even they will grant a loan to their customers. So we call that financial institution as bank. Next, definition of banking. So the activities or the operation which is done by the bank is called as your banking, according to the Banking Regulations Act 1949. Next, we are going to see the classification of banks, where we have four types of banks. One is said to be commercial banking. The bank which provide a loan to the trader for commercial purpose. We call that bank as commercial banking. What is the commercial purpose? Buying and selling, we call that as a commercial purpose. So commercial banking is said to be a bank where they will provide a short-term loans to customers and traders. The duration of short-term loans is said to be 1 to 5 years. We call this bank as commercial banking. Next, we have industrial banks. The bank which provide long-term loans only to industries. We call that as industrial bank. The duration of long-term loans is said to be 10 to 20 years. So, the bank which provide long-term loans to industries alone, we call that bank as industrial bank. So there are a lot of industrial banks operating in our country. First one is said to be IFCI, Industrial Financial Corporation of India. Next we have SFC, State Financial Corporation. Next IDBI, Industrial Development Bank of India. And at last we have ICICI, Industrial Credit and Investment Corporation of India. And the third type of bank is agricultural banks. The bank which provide loans for agricultural purpose. To whom they will provide loan? To farmers, to agriculturalists. So they'll provide two types of loans, short-term loans and long-term loans. We have two types of banks comes under this category: agricultural banks, agricultural cooperative banks, and land mortgage banks. Agricultural cooperative bank will provide a short-term loans, and land mortgage banks will provide long-term loans. And the last type is foreign exchange banks. If I am doing trade across countries, if I am doing a foreign trade, so there if I am in a need of money, if I approach a foreign exchange bank, they will be in a position to give me a loan. So that kind of bank is called as your foreign exchange bank. And they'll help me in converting the currency of one country into the currency of another. Next, we are going to see e-banking, electronic banking. With the help of electronically operated devices, if I am doing a banking transactions, we call that as e-banking. So by sitting in front of computer, nowadays we can do the banking operations. Or best example, ATM, automatic teller machine. Anytime, anywhere where I can withdraw the cash with the help of ATM card. Even I can deposit the money also. So that is the best example of e-banking. It provides 24 hours access, 24 hours in a day, 7 days in a week, where they'll provide the services to us. Next, internet banking. If I am doing a banking transactions on the website of a banking company, we call that as internet banking. Next, crossing of checks. If I am drawing two transfers parallel line on the face of a check, we call that as crossing of check. So what is the purpose of crossing of check? Usually check will be paid at the counter. So if I have done the crossing, money will not be paid at the counter. money can be paid only through the banker. Banker will credit the money directly into the customers of a bank. So that is the purpose of a crossing. So our check will be secured and will be safeguarded if I have done the crossing. We have two types of crossing. One is general crossing and the other one is special crossing. Now we are going to see the general crossing. If I am drawing a two transverse parallel line on the face of a check with or without any words, we call that as general crossing. Usually I'll be using the words and co, that is and company, or not negotiable. These words I'll be using in between the parallel lines. That is a statutory crossing. It is done if general crossing is done, money will not be paid at the counter. Money can be paid for a check only through the banker. And the last type is special crossing. Drawing two transverse parallel lines on the cross of a check. In between that crossing, where I'll be mentioning the name of the bank. So the drawee bank have to make the payment only to the banker whose name is mentioned on the crossing. So we call that as a special crossing. Thank you.